You want to share what it is? No? You want to share what it is? What is it? Something fun? Alright, what about you? So how many of you like serving? You know, serving the church, serving the community, even more around the house a little bit. Show of hands, anybody? Yeah, all right. What are some things that you do? George? Something, yeah?
I do chores around the house.
George? Oh. What do you do? Serve? Dealing with other kids? Keegan? What things do you do, sir? We'll come back to it. Alright, anybody else have any other ways that they serve around the community or do anything like that? Anybody? Well, every single act of service, no matter how small it is, no matter if it's doing chores for your parents right now, those things count. And those things can lead to a life of servitude in the future, actually. And I think Jesus talks about how service doesn't have to be the biggest thing ever. Whenever he talks about it, like, how many of you were here Wednesday? Yes, two of you. Well, my dad talked out of a verse. It was Luke 21:1-4. It said, while Jesus was in the temple, he watched the rich people dropping their gifts into the closest box. The poor widow came by and dropped in 2 small coins. I tell you the truth, Jesus said, this poor widow gave more than all the rest of them, for they have given a tiny part of their surplus, but she, poor as she is, has given everything. This lady came into the temple broken and like without anything. For those of you who don't know, a widow is someone who doesn't have a husband because they recently passed away, right? They recently passed away, so she's struggling with money because usually the husband is going to be like the main income back then, and they're going to work together and then but she gave everything she had. She had 2 small coins to give, and she gave everything. And Jesus saw that as higher than anything else because the other people were just giving a small portion of it. She gave everything. I like that. Yeah, I like what my dad just said this. But I had my dad's notes, and I like what he said. He said, let me just say something. God doesn't need our money. What he wants is our sacrifice and the fact that we are willing to trust him no matter what. If we go through Christmas making everything about us, yes, we will receive gifts and things like that. But if we go through Christmas and give to other people, just like the woman, if we give everything we have to other people, we will also be blessed. You can see that as a higher willingness to give. And if we do that, we will ourselves be blessed. We give us the things we need. Whether we give life, we give gifts, time, or love, we care. It all matters, no matter what. You can continue to but don't expect anything in return. That's another thing. He humble guy. You didn't see him walk around bragging about how he healed the lame, healed the blind, healed the man from the stage. You didn't see him bragging about it every single time. He just did it out of goodness of his heart. That's how good he is. If we have an open heart to him, then we will be able to make the same sacrifices that Jesus did in James. So one of the ways I serve actually is at a community party. For those of you who don't know, the Chamber down in Shippensburg actually does this big party where they want anybody who maybe is less fortunate or just wants to have a time with their family, and they hand out gifts. We have food. We get to they pull in Santa. They have a band. It's just a lot of fun. And I help serve there and close to my parents. And we help serve there every year. This year we sadly got canceled for 2 days. But every year, I love cooking. Sure, I don't get any of the gifts. I have to sit on my feet for hours and do things like that. I have to walk around and help other people. But yet, that makes it worth it. That is what makes it worth it. Because no matter how little I get from it, I still gain a lot. Because I get to see the smiles on the face and the energy in the room and the people just having fun, sitting down, having meals with family, and seeing these kids open their gifts and just have a fun time. Like those things make this entire event worth it. And then to see them sitting on Santa's lap and just having that magic in their lives, just to you know, feel like they're just a part of that family again, like a community family. And it's amazing to see because they just have such a fun time. You can just see all the smiles on their faces. So whenever you look at the act of serving, how many of you see it as just like a way to get something? Like, be honest here. I know I think about that sometimes. Is if I do this, I'm gonna get something in return. Anybody? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Like I just see it as a way for me to get something. And Jesus calls us so many times in the Bible not to see it that way. Because if we start seeing it that way, it's no longer out of the goodness of our heart. It's just that way. It's just so that way we can get something. So what are some ways that you guys can serve throughout the weeks? Anybody have any ideas? Anybody? Anybody? Any ideas how you can serve throughout the week? Maybe shoveling the wall, yeah, that's something. Right. I know my mom's really really today, so like your friends or things like that. I don't know, but I don't know how that. Yes, back there, I see your hand. Well, one of you guys answer. Well, I'll wait. I'll wait. What? Yeah, you stop waiting. Keegan, oh yeah, Keegan. Um, that's perfect.
Good answer.
Try to do that.
So that says,
Alright, what about you, man?
what was the question?
How can you help serve throughout the week? Like, what are some ways that you can
Donate.
serve? Donating?
Donating.
Okay. So,
Like,
how
I
do you
mean,
get
like,
money
just,
to donate though?
yeah, I have money to donate.
So maybe like doing tours around the house to get money, is that way you can donate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's like food drives. You can donate that as well.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of you can't drive, which is kind of like amazing.
Yeah. I can't legally drive, but I know how to drive. They are in middle school, so I don't think. I drive on my driveway.
Oh, right, you can drive. He's not.
Daddy!
Oh, he can drive. He can drive.
I can
He was
drive.
back in years.
I drive in the fields. In a van.
But anyways, none of you can drive. None of you can drive. And I know that can make it a little hard.
How do you know that? How do you know I don't? How do you know I don't though?
Hey. Alright, hey.
I can drive.
Hey. Okay. None of you can drive legally.
Okay, yeah. I can drive illegally.
That's how we're gonna put it here.
Got it before.
Okay, yeah, we get it. You've done it before. Okay, so none of you can drive legally, which can make it really hard for you guys to search. Because like you can't do things out in the community. You can't like go out there without a parent's help. And I know that can sometimes take.
And how do you know?
But maybe if you can, go over to a grandparent's house one day and help them out. Or maybe get your parents to take you into like the chamber and help out with some of that. Those things can make a difference. I think the most important part is whenever Jesus was born, a few, no, 30 years later, 30, 34 years later, 32 years later, 32 years later, he died on the cross for us, and that was the biggest gift we've ever received. That was the biggest gift we've ever received. And it all started 1 week from now. 1 week from now, Jesus was born, and then 32 years later, he died on the cross for us. And that's the biggest gift we can ever ask. That's the biggest act of service you can ever ask. Now, none of you are going to go die on a cross for something. But you can do little things like he did. He had the Holy Spirit in him, and he followed what God said, and that's what gave him the ability to perform these miracles and heal us.
Sure.
So what's the big takeaway here? Christmas should not be all about us. Christmas should be about serving others. You don't want it to be like going into Jesus' birthday party and taking everything. You want it to be like going into Jesus' birthday party and giving everything. We can't look at Christmas as just some time for us to take it. We need to give them as well. So here's my challenge to you guys. As you guys go out into the next week, I ask that you guys find 3 ways that you can serve. 3, that's it. 3 ways that you can serve. And then if you get those 3 ways, keep serving. I'll give you Christmas off. You guys can have Christmas here. Just spend time with family that day. But still, help your mom with the dishes whenever she's done cooking or cleaning. And then help your dad clean the wrap paper as he catches it on our back. You know, these little things can still help you. So, let's go to prayer. Dear Jesus, God, I just want to pray that you would be on their last week of school before they go into Christmas break. God, I pray that you keep them safe. God, I just pray that they have a nice time, that they just be able to enjoy their time at school. God, I just pray for their Christmases. I pray that everybody would just be able to travel safely if they're going anywhere. God, I just pray that you bless them and God, just give them an enjoyable Christmas week. God, I just pray for safety. I pray that everybody will be able to stay safe. And God, I just pray that these students would just be able to start serving. God, just serve for you. And God, just serve as you did. And God, I just pray that you would give us gratitude as we go on this Christmas season. God, sometimes it's super easy to be greedy. And God, I just pray that you give us gratitude towards everything that we're given and every opportunity. And God, I just thank you for bringing them as well. I pray that you let these words speak to them and that they just be able to make a difference in their communities.
Okay, let's give it up to Carter. So I have to do this. So you argued with me about King Herod, about how old Jesus was. So let me ask you a question. What was King Herod's decree that he brought down?
Decree?
Yeah.
That everybody thought.
No, keep going. It's okay. No. I just want to like bask in this. So it's okay. So keep going. So what was King Herod's decree whenever Jesus was born?
Like
2 years. Any boy that was 2 years or under. So do you think Jesus was 4?
Well, no, he could have been 4. What if he made that decree a while ago and they just said, oh, fine, do this?
Okay, then that means you're not reading the scriptures properly. So let me ask you a question. Am I right or were you right?
We were.
No idea except
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. How many of you guys, whenever you think about the nativity scene, because we're going to be talking about this, in the coming days, you're going to be thinking about Christmas. When you think about the nativity scene, what comes to your mind? What do you guys think of?
Jesus.
Jesus. Okay. Yeah, but what does the picture look like? Because I think a lot of times, especially those of you who are in 6th grade, whenever you're in Kids Point. Tell me if I'm wrong, but you probably think of like this cute little manger scene, right? Is that what you think of? This cute little manger scene that looks adorable, and there's these cute little fluffy animals that are around. Is that what you think of? Okay, right. So that's in our mind, and that's what we think of. And so as we come closer to Christmas, I want to change your thinking on this. Okay, I want to change your thinking because just like Carter just said that he thought Jesus was 4 years old, which is incorrect, we also have this mindset of what does the nativity scene look like? And we think like it's this cute little manger scene that's probably sitting up on top of the hill, and it's just like this little barn that's cute and like it's beautiful out. Guys, I have to tell you that is the exact opposite of what it looks like. Because if you guys have listened, or if you guys have been at youth group over the last, even last year we talked about the nativity scene, you've heard a different perspective. And the reason why is because the perspective is that the idea of the nativity scene that we have in our mind is wrong. Because Jesus, first of all, whenever he was born, he was not born in a cute little manger. All right, so actually the scholars have talked about this, and they've actually reset the timeline back to that. And so first of all, let me just kind of tell you what it looked like. So like Caden said, is that back then, towns, like groups would get together and they would actually build a town, just like what we do now. There was never really people that lived out by themselves. They were always closer to other people because they like other people would have things that they wanted. And so instead of traveling for days to get to somebody, they would actually just kind of come together. And so the chances are that Jesus was born in a nativity, but the nativity looked like a two-story house. Because what happened was there would always be the second floor would be where the family would stay, and the first floor was where the animals would live. The reason why is because, first of all, they want to make sure the animals were safe. And so they would always make sure that they were close to the animals because there were wolves and different predators that were out there. And so they'd always want to make sure that the animals were safe. Secondly, it's easier to be able to take care of them because they could get up at 2 a.m. To milk the cows. They could get up and take care of the animals, and they didn't have to travel a long distance to get to the barn. So they would just come downstairs and they would take care of the barn and the animals, and then they go back upstairs with the rest of the family. And so we have this mindset of, it's probably this cute little nativity scene like this little barn, but that's not what scholars have said that it probably looked like. Also, we think of like this manger scene where there's only like one or two animals. That wasn't true either. Because if you read in the scriptures, it actually talks about many flocks. So most of the families back then had flocks, and they also would bring their flocks together. So they would tag them so that way they would know which animal was theirs. But chances are there would be 3 or 4 families that would bring all their animals together because it was easier and it was more cost effective. And so chances are it was probably very, very, very crowded. And so even though Jesus came, whenever Mary and Joseph came into the manger, into the nativity scene, and we think that it was probably this cute little area, I guarantee you it was crowded. And I guarantee you it was loud. Think about this. If there is 30 or 40 sheep in this one small area, it's not going to be a quiet space. And also, you think it's not a very clean space. Having that many animals, it's probably gross. And, they wore sandals, so think about that. Stepping in things that you probably don't want to step in. And it's just disgusting. Guys, the reason why I tell you that is because I think I always try to change your perspective. So whether I'm talking on Wednesday night or Sunday morning or whatever, I want to change your perspective on something. And I want you to truly think about the idea of whenever Jesus came, it wasn't this cute little area, it wasn't this cute little scene. It was a very chaotic scene, it was a very dirty scene, but he did it. He came as a child. He didn't come as a king. He didn't come, he could have come in on a white horse and he could have rode in and said, hey, I'm here to save the day. He didn't do that. He literally came in and as a baby, he was born. So therefore, you guys, we're in 6th or 8th grade. We know how this works. Whenever you're born, it's messy. And so Jesus was born just like we were. It's gross. We didn't come out all clean and squeaky clean. So these are the things you need to think about. Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say these people expected a glorious king, and they literally were throwing coats on the ground everywhere that he went, and pointing his palm crazy, and they just expected this glorious man to come in and overthrow the entire government, and he came in and did the exact opposite. He just dealt with the people. He didn't, try to overthrow these kings, and that's what they thought they were going to get. But sometimes images are way different than we want them to be.
Yeah, so that's the reason why I want to tell you this, because this week, as we celebrate Christmas, as we think about this idea, you're going to see a manger scene, you're going to see this image, you're going to see this picture, but I want you to think differently. I want you to think about truly, how did Jesus come on the scene? How did Jesus come to the earth? And why did he come to the earth? Because if we truly stop and we think about it, it's not this cute little manger scene. It's not this, perfect picture. It's not. It's chaotic. It's dirty. It's loud. But yet he still came as a child. He still came to die and to take away our sins. Guys, that is the biggest thing, the biggest takeaway that we have to have for Christmas. Yes, the gifts are awesome. I love the gifts. Sure, every year I look forward to the Christmas gifts. That I'm going to receive. But if we truly think about that, if we just think about that idea, we lose the whole concept of Christmas. And And the same thing is if we think about the nativity scene as being this cute little scene, we lose the concept of Christmas because we don't understand how hard it was for him to come, even though it was one of the easiest choices that he made. Because whenever Jesus said, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to be the sacrifice, I'm going to be ripped, I'm going to be torn, I'm going to do this, he didn't question it. He didn't say, you know what, let me think about this. I'm sure he didn't sit up there and with God and say, you know what, let me think about this and I'll get back to you. I guarantee you he's like, let me go. Let me be the one to do it.
I think one of the most incredible parts of the story is, and how it shows how he felt the same things and suffering as we did. It wasn't one of those things where he just hand himself right over to the king and things like that. He literally begged Jesus or God that if it wasn't his will to make him hang on that cross, that wouldn't happen. Like he begged him for that to happen. It said he was sweating blood that night because of that. And that just shows how he understood the pain that we were going through at that moment because he knew that was one of the main ways to die. And he was asking God, God, I pray that I'm willing to go through this pain suffering, but God, if it's your will, I pray that I still have the strength to do it.
So guys, this is where we want to think differently whenever we think about Christmas, alright? That's really just kind of the takeaway that we want you to have, is the idea of, yes, we want to talk about serving. Serving is important. But truly, before we get to the serving part, we have to look at what is the perspective, what does this look like, and how can our perspective be different. Okay? Is there any questions about this? Good. We answered all of your questions, all of your answers. What? I did answer yours. Okay. All right, guys. So listen. Couple things you guys need to be aware of is, first of all, if you're interested, this Wednesday we're having our Christmas party here for youth group. We're going to do lots of games. There's going to be prizes that we're going to be giving away. We're going to have pizza. So there's going to be lots of food. So if you're interested, we're going to be here from 6 to 8